stimulus check for millions of Americans. If you are a low or middle income American and waiting for some sort of relief from this administration in the form of stimulus checks or stimulus style payments, then I have some very important updates to share with you in this very important video. Look at this. Will we get tariff rebate checks, and what the Trump administration says about these checks? Well, we finally received the details that you need to know, because this very important update can bring more money when it comes to your pockets. Because yes, one very important stimulus style payment has already been confirmed and approved and is coming to Americans this month. But remember, not all Americans are going to receive that payment. Well, at the same time, there's a claim that the Internal Revenue Service, means IRS, and the Treasury Department has approved a $1,390 worth of stimulus check. Well, I'm gonna give you the details about this very important update, but this is not it. As I mentioned earlier, that yes, this is from the federal side, but do you know a number of states are also giving payments to its residents? And the problem is that a number of Americans don't even know about those programs. I'm gonna tell you about those hidden stimulus checks in this video as well, so make sure you stay with us till the end. And by the way, if you haven't smashed the like button right now, please do it right now, as it helps the video and the channel as well. So without any further ado, let's start the video. So let's start with this very important update, as millions of Americans are waiting for some sort of relief from this administration, and we finally have this very important update as what Trump administration says about these stimulus checks. Remember, let me give you a little backstory of this whole situation. Well, President Trump around a month ago announced the possibility of new stimulus style payments for millions of Americans, though he called them tariff rebate checks or dividend checks for millions of Americans. But right after his announcement, Josh Hawley introduced a shocking bill known as American Rebate Act, and under this bill, he stated that administration, means this administration, wants to give $600 to every individual and $600 to every dependent, means to every child, and a family of 4 can receive up to $2,400 under this very important legislation. And that's where it all started, where a number of Americans were really happy. Okay, we finally receiving this stimulus payment. But as I mentioned earlier, that there are 3 very important hurdles that this legislation has to pass. Well, I'll tell you about it in just a minute, but look at this update. Besson says tariff revenue will go to national debt before rebate checks. So this is another confirmation, because this is from the Hill, and as you can see that this is another confirmation that yes, the rebate checks are also in consideration, means they are going to send rebate checks, but first they will deal with the national debt. And that's where this whole argument starts, that if they are going to pay national debt, the debt in the US is a lot, right? So they'll keep paying it. So it means that rebate checks will never be a possibility or never be a reality. And that's where a number of lawmakers are saying, no, stop right here. First, send these rebate checks to millions of Americans who are struggling right now and fulfill your promise. Then go towards the national debt. Well, according to Caroline Leavitt and President Donald J. Trump himself, the previous administration left a mess for this administration, and especially for American people. Well, if they left this mess, then at least try to clean it. And how they can do that? They can simply send stimulus checks to millions of Americans. So temporarily they can have a breathing room, and then you can do whatever you want when it comes to the national debt and other things, because of course this is an ongoing thing and every administration deals with it. So when it comes to this, let me know in the comments below, do you support these stimulus style rebate checks before they deal with the national debt, or they should actually deal with the national national debt, and then they should send the rebate checks or stimulus checks to millions of Americans. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this whole situation? Well, at the same time, I'll go towards this very important detail that when you should expect this check, but look at this update as well, as inflation refund checks heading to New Yorkers soon. Well, if you live in New York, then congratulations, because you are going to receive an inflation refund check, and you are going to receive it this month. Get ready. New Yorkers' inflation refund checks will be heading to your mailbox starting at the end of September, according to the state's Department of Taxation and Finance. This is from Pix 11, and I'm going to link it in the video's description as well. You can actually read it yourself, as we want to be as honest, as transparent as possible on Credit Viral channel. On the Credit Viral show. The checks were approved as a part of the state's 2025 budget earlier this year. The New York residents are eligible to get the money, but there are some things that you need to do. You should file your taxes for the 2023 tax year. You are not claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return, and you are in a qualifying income bracket. It means that over 8 million New Yorkers will get between $150 and $400 because of this New York, or under this New York inflation refund package. So congratulations to millions of New Yorkers, close to 8 million, that you are going to receive this stimulus inflation refund check, that you can say. But at the same time, let's talk about this update, and this is important. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the Trump administration was laser focused on paying down the national debt with tariff revenue, dismissing the idea of rebate check disbursement with the next few months. And this is where the whole controversy starts. Well, a number of Republicans were saying that we support this bill. This check should go to Americans. Americans deserve some sort of relief. But at the same time, when Josh Hawley introduced this legislation, a number of Republicans started opposing this bill. You heard it absolutely right. As I mentioned earlier, there are 3 hurdles that this bill needs to pass, or this legislation needs to pass. The first one is the debate, which has already started. The second one is the voting in Congress. First, it will be voted out in House, then in Senate, and if the votes get approved, or if this legislation gets approved with higher votes, then it will go to President Donald J. Trump's desk for final approval, or you can say for his final signature. But right here, as you can say, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that Trump administration was laser focused on paying down the national debt first. And this is where it all begins. Why? Americans, what about American people? What about their financial conditions, right? They are struggling right now. According to Scott Bessent, I've been saying that tariff revenue could be $300 billion this year. I'm going to have to revise that substantially, Bessent said during a Tuesday appearance. And this is shocking, because do you know that when it comes to giving billions and billions of dollars to any other country, they pass or vote on those bills overnight, where when it comes to giving money to American people, they said, no, we're going to focus on paying down the debt first, because American people can wait, they can suffer. But what about the national debt? This is the biggest problem. But let me just tell you that recently President Donald J. Trump, actually during a cabinet meeting, asked by a reporter that what about the rebates or tariff revenue, by the way, that you're receiving because of these reciprocal tariffs, according to you, that US is receiving billions and billions of dollars every single day. So do you have any plans to give this money to American people? And he again said that yes, there is a possibility of giving a dividend to American people with a certain income threshold. So probably the people who are in the low and middle income category will receive it. But again, a number of analysts and experts are saying that this is just a political stunt, a gimmick, to actually let people know that, oh, we are doing something for them, but at the end of the day, it's nothing. And you heard it absolutely right. If you remember the Doge stimulus checks, what happened? Well, Elon Musk, the ex-head of Doge, actually said that we are thinking of giving $5,000. Can you imagine $5,000 because of the money those departments saved from various programs, and because of this fraud that they call there's a lot of fraud going on in social security and other government programs. So they saved billions and billions of dollars. In some instances, they even said that it's trillions of dollars. What happened to that money? Nobody knows. Now they're talking about this tariff revenue. What happens to this money? Nobody knows. And that's the problem. This is the biggest problem, and this is the biggest question that the American people are asking right now, that if you are receiving billions of dollars from these reciprocal tariffs, if you saved billions and trillions of dollars because that fraud, waste, and abuse according to you, then why you cannot give this money to American people? At least give a portion of it. At least approve this American Worker Rebate Act. If you're not able to give $2,000, give us $600 that is mentioned under this rebate act. But a number of analysts and experts are saying the otherwise. They're saying no, $600 is simply not enough. It's a joke, and this check should be at least $2,000 for all Americans. And let me know in the comments below that do you support the $600 or $2,000 stimulus check for Americans, and do you think that this $600 is more than enough for American people who are struggling right now because of this worse inflation, or $2,000 is something that will actually give Americans a breathing room, especially in this worst time where Gallup says that the prices of groceries are up by 21% in the past 3 years. So let me know in the comments below what do you think about this whole situation. But at the same time, as I mentioned earlier, let me give you a couple of more details about this, as you must be thinking, what about the $1,390 worth of check? Well, we do have details about it. So when it comes to the $1,390 check, remember that the IRS said that noting how S&P Global on Monday affirmed that its AA plus credit rating on the United States business, said that he thinks there will be a rebate checks in the future, but President Trump are laser focused on paying down the debt. But rumors spread online Friday that US government is planning to issue stimulus checks to taxpayers in certain income brackets, but Congress has not passed the legislation. Let me repeat it. Congress has not passed the legislation because this is for American people. This is not for any foreign country. So we need to understand that American people, if they want to wait for, if they want some sort of relief from this administration or any administration, they have to get, like they have to do something extraordinary in order to receive that money. Something like, God forbid if COVID comes back or something like that. But other than that, I don't think so that this administration is actually serious about sending these stimulus payments. But New Yorkers, congratulations to you. You are getting a check between $150 to $400 starting the end of this month. So congratulations. Well, if you have any questions at all about this, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer each and every question of yours. And again, when it comes to about this $1,390, remember there is no check coming like this. If you see anywhere that someone is talking about this $1,390, no, these checks are not coming. This is just a rumor, but as soon as we receive more details about it, we'll give you all the updates. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, please take care and have a nice day.